Okay guys, snow is in GTA Online. That means we gotta look at the top 5 vehicles for snow in GTA Online. So for this list, we will be going through the top 5 vehicles for the snow, driving around in the snow in the city, but also testing the vehicles going up Mount CHILIAD, the ultimate off-roading test. That's what we're going to be basing these cars on. And how well they generally perform in the snow. How much they spin out, if they do spin out, if they don't spin out, and how fast they are, taking all things into account for this list. Well, snow is one of the trickiest things to drive in GTA Online. You thought off-road was bad. Snow is 10 times worse. So that's why I'm making this video, to show you guys what the top 5 are for the snow in GTA Online, because it's going to be here longer for this year in GTA Online. Last year it was about 3 days. This year it's about a week in GTA Online. So let's start off with number 1, a recent car, the Jublee. This was added in the contract update, and this made it in my top 5 for free mode and surviving, and top 5 armored vehicles. But this one is also good in off-road. It is a SUV and all-wheel drive. But the best part, it does survive 10 homing rockets, sticky bombs, and it has armored windows. So on top of being good off-road, it's also good in just free mode. So the top speed of this thing is 151 miles per hour, which is pretty fast for an SUV, one of the fastest SUVs in the game. But what we're really looking for here is an off-road traction loss, which means it's a flag in the game files. It means how much traction does it lose when going off-road and in the snow. And this one only has a 1, so it's very good on off-road. It is a SUV with all-wheel drive, so obviously it will be good. But this car only has 1, which is really good for off-road traction loss. And on top of that, it's fast with 151 miles per hour. That is a fast SUV. With being good on off-road, that makes it the number 5 for the best vehicles for snow in GTA Online. I would just recommend this car, even for not off-roading. It's still just good to drive around it because it has armored windows, it has the armored vehicle plates, so you can't blow up after one shot. It's a really good vehicle all around in this game. Okay, so coming at number 4 is the Kamacho. So this one not as fast as a Jublee, 134, but it is a massive vehicle, massive wheels, and very good traction in the snow. So the off-road traction loss is a 0.15, one of the best in the game. It's not the easiest to drive, it's not really that fast as the other vehicles on this list, but the off-road traction loss is so good that it just performs really good in the snow. It rarely spins out. I never spin out when I drive this car. It is very good in the snow. And it's not that expensive. It's only $345,000, which it is insanely cheap for any vehicle in this game. So that for that price, this is a must get for the snow. Again, it is all-wheel drive as expected for this list. Very good in the snow in this game. Just taking it up Mount CHILIAD, it's going at it slow because it's not that good of a top speed with this vehicle, but it makes it. It's steady, it's smooth, just a little bit slow up Mount CHILIAD in the snow, but it makes it there easily. Slow and steady, but that's what you need for the snow in this game, to go slow and steady so you don't spin out. Very good to drive in the snow. Also, this could go in pretty deep water. I think it's one of the best vehicles for going underwater because it does survive about half of its size in water. So that's a pretty good thing if you like going off-roading in the swamp area. We do got better cars coming up, so hold off on this vehicle for now because next few vehicles are 10 times better than this one. At number 3 is our first and only rocket vehicle on this list, the Toreador. Now this one is rear-wheel drive, but it is so insanely good. It handles really good off-road. So the off-road traction loss is a 1, which is pretty decent for a 2-wheel drive car, but also this car has the boost. So this boost is super overpowered. First, it's one of the fastest vehicles in the whole game with the boost. Goes up to 150 miles per hour with the boost. Also, the handling is really good in this car. For some reason, even in the rain or the snow, the handling is just crazy good with this car. It never spins out, and even if you do spin out, you have the rocket, which increases the traction a lot. Like the rocket, when you hit the rocket, it goes straight. It does not want to turn when you hit the rocket, so If you ever spin out, just hit the rocket and you will go straight. That makes this car super overpowered in really any area of this game, because with the rocket, it adds a crazy amount of speed and it helps you in the snow. So going up Mount Chiliad, I mean, obviously no problem. Without the boost, it might not make it, but with the boost, this car does have a boost. It's easy, so easy to get up Mount Chiliad, easier than any other car in this game. Also, one of the most fun part, you could sled with this vehicle, yeah, because remember, this car does have the submarine, so just hold right on D-pad, you turn into a submarine, and you could sled down the roads or down Mount Chiliad in the snow. Snow actually does make you go farther, which is pretty cool. I do think Rockstar thought that through, because this car did release when it was snowing, so they had to think that through, like, hey, we're going to be using this car in the snow, so let's make it good. But just because how much fun this car is and how well it drives surprisingly in the snow and how fast it is with the boost, it has to be on this list. Now, I'm not going to be adding in the deluxe or anything that flies, because this is still a ground vehicle. Even with the boost, it is still a ground vehicle. So that is why this is at the number 3 spot. But if you guys don't want to use any boosts, I will tie this in with a Vagrant. Very good car, very fun car. And this is rear wheel drive, but so fun. The traction loss is a 0, so basically no traction loss at all for this car, which is really good, and it's pretty fast too. Its top speed is pretty good too, 122 miles per hour, which is 3rd in the off-road class overall against every other vehicle, so it's at the top of the off-road class, which obviously makes this a very good choice for the snow. And just as you see in the gameplay here, I'm trying to spin myself out, turning left and right all the time in the snow in the city, going through cars, and it is not spinning out, it is holding its ground. So this Vagrant, very good. I would get it pretty expensive, $2.2 million, but it is so worth it. Number 2, this one might surprise you guys, it is the Nightshark. So the Nightshark is super old, but it is super OP. So let's just get started right away with the off-road traction loss. It is a 0. It is not the fastest on this list, coming in at 104 miles per hour and 140. But this thing is a tank. Remember, you could crash through any vehicle, it will not slow down. Going up Mount Chiliad, it is OP, one of the best up Mount Chiliad. Even with that top speed being one of the lowest on this whole list, it is still very good up Mount Chiliad. This thing is just a tank and very good for free mode. You can survive pretty much anything in this. It has armored windows. No oppressor will be killing you at all because this thing holds up to 40 missiles. So not only is it one of the best for free mode, just driving around in general, it is super OP in the snow. And it's not that expensive, $1.2 million. Not that expensive for what you're getting. One of the best vehicles overall in the whole game. I mean, even if you aren't getting this just for the snow, it will be so worth it because it's good for missions, for heists, for surviving in free mode, just driving around, taking out anyone in your path. Will be unstoppable in this car, and that doesn't stop in the snow either because in the gameplay here, I am crashing into vehicles in the snow, trying to spin myself out, nothing is happening, I just keep going in a straight line. Very good for the snow, that's why it is at the number 2 spot, but to be honest, nothing beats the number 1 spot, which is Dragger. So this car only came out like 6 months ago in the Criminal Enterprises DLC for $1.8 million. This car is insanely good. So the off-road traction loss 0.15. Now that's not a 0 like the other car was. This car has so much grip. I think it has one of the most crazy amounts of grip in the game. You cannot spin out on this. As you see in the gameplay here, I'm going downhill, I'm going uphill, trying to spin myself out. I even crashed into a few cars here and there. I did not spin out at all. This car just wants to go in a straight line, and that's what it does. This car has some crazy suspension, so going off-road in the snow, on top of rocks, anything, even in the swamp, as you see later on, this car handles anything. It goes up any rocks. It even goes up a curb in one of these clips here. The suspension is the best part about this car, making it a total off-road car, but in the snow, this thing is crazy. So going up Mount Chiliad, it is the best. It is the best up Mount Chiliad. It just goes straight up, no problem at all. The top speed is 147, so that it brings it up there with some of the top ones on this list. Miles per hour, that is 112 miles per hour, and that is 7th out of 48th. Remember, the Vagrant was 3rd out of 48th, but this one still being very close to the Vagrant's top speed, so 7th is really close to 3rd, so this one is almost tied with the Vagrant in top speed. But looking at GTAcars.net, you see the lap time is 1st out of 48 in off-road class, so if you're going around the lap for some reason, this is the first, because the cornering and the grip is so good with this car. So, the grip really makes it what it is in the snow, one of the best for the snow in this whole game. And the customization options are some of the best in the whole game. You have 15 customization options for each different option. It's really good. And it has a snorkel, and the snorkel works. As you see in the gameplay here, I'm taking it to the swamp, and it's actually working. Like, as long as you do not cover yourself all in water, let the snorkel hit the water, you will be fine. You will not drown in this car as long as you keep it above the water, which it actually works. So that's pretty cool to see. That's why even just off-road it is really good, but in the snow it is 10 times better because it handles so well and it's so fun to drive. It's one of the most fun vehicles in the whole game to drive. Even after rocket-powered vehicles, it is just plain fun. You like collecting vehicles or just want a vehicle to drive off-road in any situation, this is the best car to do so. I would put it at a solid number 1 up against any other off-roading vehicle. Even the Kamacho, even the Vagrant, even the Nightshark, this one, number 1 spot, 100%. That's the top 5 vehicles, or top 6, I added in the Vagrant too, for the snow in GTA Online. Take it in while it lasts, because this might be the last year we get snow, or maybe next year, before the GTA 6 announcement, this might be one of the last years we get snow in this game. So I hope you all have a good Christmas, good New Year's, until I make another video. But if you got this far, that probably means you liked it. Leave a like, subscribe if you want to. I'll see you guys in that video after the New Year's.